It's our privilege to have with us tonight Usama Dakdok. Usama was born and raised in Egypt. He's the son of a Baptist pastor. Usama came to know Christ at a young age, but he was schooled in Islam because he went to the Egyptian schools. It's our privilege to have with us tonight Usama Dakdok. Usama was born and raised in Egypt. He's the son of a Baptist pastor. Usama came to know Christ at a young age, but he was schooled in Islam because he went to the Egyptian schools. Usama also furthered his training in Islamic law and is very understanding of Islamic law. He has a burden to share the truth of Islam, and several years ago, as we met with him, we had him here for the rally, and we spoke with him and invited him to start a daily radio program revealing the truth about Islam, which airs weekdays at 12:30 on VCY America Radio, a powerful program to really get into the meat as to what Islam teaches and how it contradicts what the Word of God teaches. One thing we've learned about Usama, he has a burning desire on his heart to make the truth known. And so we've invited him to come back here tonight to talk about some very important issues. Usama talks fast. You have to listen fast as well. So let's give a warm Southeast Wisconsin welcome to Usama Dakdok.
Thank you. Well, it's good to be here with you guys tonight, and I hope this next 2 hours will have some open eyes, open heart, open understanding to the truth about Islam. Let me just start with this presentation. It's a good 3-minute commercial for my new book, and I want you to know that we work hard to put this book for you. And I believe if we read the Quran, and if we read the new book exposing the truth about the Quran, we will find that the Quran, Islam, Allah, Muhammad are empty. There's nothing there.
For the last 1400 years, Muslims worldwide have considered only one book to be the perfect, complete, and inspired word of Allah, the Quran. In fact, Mohammad claimed that his only miracle was the Quran itself. But is it a clear miracle of God, or is it just a confusing deception of man?
Over and over, Allah states through His Prophet in the Quran that the Quran is a clear book, a very clear revelation, easy to understand. But is this true? Can a Muslim or any reader who reads the Quran understand the truth about subject as the creation, the lives of the prophets, or even the life of Jesus?
Scattered throughout the Quran, Muhammad records bits and pieces of information about famous biblical characters such as Adam, Abraham, Moses, David, Jonah, and even Noah. But this information is disconnected and fragmentary, contradicting the Bible and even contradicting itself.
10 years ago, the Lord put on my heart to write a book about exposing the lies and the errors of the Quran. But then we have faced another problem. All current English translations are corrupted. The English translators who translated the Quran to the English language hide many of the errors and the mistakes of the Quran from the English world. Then we spend several years to produce an accurate modern English translation of the Quran. And with that completed, we then began production and have now finished our latest project, exposing the truth about the Quran.
In this powerful new 2-volume set, you will discover one of the most thorough and comprehensive critiques of the Quran available in print. First, all of the references to important topics such as creation and the stories of the prophets scattered throughout the Quran are collected together into one place. Next, we examine the writings of the most respected Muslim scholars as they seek to understand these confusing and contradictory passages. Then, we demonstrate that Muslim scholars were forced to abandon the Quran and that they had to turn to the Bible for the true and authentic histories of these events in their futile attempt to reconcile the two. Finally, this comprehensive 2-volume set proves that Muhammad contradicted the Bible and that the Quran repeatedly contradicts itself as it discusses these important issues.
It's time for the West to know the truth about Islam, to know the truth about its so-called Prophet Muhammad. The Bible clearly teaches, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." We must know and expose the darkness, the dangers, and the deception of Islam, not only to protect ourselves, but to bring the truth of the gospel of Jesus Christ to all the Muslims whom we love.
For ordering and more information, please visit thestraightway.org. Individual copy and case pricing is available.
الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Allahu Akbar. If you ask any Muslim what that word means, they will tell you it means God is great. And because we all believe God is great, therefore Allahu Akbar really means God's great. No, that's a lie. Allah is not God, as we're going to see in our seminar tonight. Allah is Satan. I did not say that. Allah in the Quran said that. And the word Akbar does not mean great, but it means bigger. So Satan is bigger. That is the true translation. Because guess what? We have another word for great in the Arabic language, which is azim. They do not know how to lie. How do I know Muslim lie? When their lips move. How do I know Muslim lie? When their hand writes something down. Let's move on. The truth about Islam is very ugly. And I do not know how to sugarcoat it. Because I don't know political correctness. I will live and I will die without knowing this word. It does not exist in my dictionary. I will never put it in my dictionary. Because the political correctness is the destruction of our country. It's a destruction of the church. It is a destruction of our freedom. And sadly, many people preach about not doing political correctness, but they're living political correctness. So, it's the Muslim world just 100 years after Muhammad claimed to be a prophet. And as you see on the map here, Islam spread all North Africa. They actually crossed from Morocco to Spain. And they took Turkey, and they were about to take over Europe from the east side. And if it was not for the French and for the Spanish, you will be sitting here tonight like the rest of the 87% of the Muslim who know nothing about Islam, the foreigner Muslim, non-Arab Muslim, and you'll be sitting in front of me tonight as Muslim nation. It is driving me crazy to see evangelical minister in this country writing a letter apologizing to the Muslim about the Crusades or apologizing about the war in Afghanistan and Pakistan in response to a deceptive letter written by the Muslim to the ministers of America. Let's have a word, an equal word. If this ignorant minister have read the rest of the verse of the Quran, they will find that Allah in the Quran said, the equal word is, you get rid of your belief of Jesus Christ to be deity or to be God, and then we can talk. But the Muslim know how to quote the first half of the verse of the Quran. And quickly, the evangelical ministers, 350 of them, write a letter apologizing to the Muslim. Yes, indeed, let's have coffee. If it is not of the Crusades, you will be here tonight a Muslim nation. And the Crusades were only 400 years late. Christian in Egypt, Christian in Turkey and in Syria, the men were killed and the women were raped, and they took our lands and our money and our freedom, and we cry out to you Christian European, help, help, help. 400 years later, they come to help. And 10 crusades later, they have not helped us. That's why you see the map as you see it on the floor in front of you. These people did not believe in Islam. The Irani, we talk about Iran lately a lot on the news. The Irani did not believe in Islam. They were forced into Islam. So is every non-Arab countries. It was the sword and the raping. That's the truth. Till today, Irani have never read the Quran. Afghani Pakistani have never read the Quran. The greatest, largest Muslim country in the world, Indonesia, 210 million Muslims live there. I've been there twice. Muslims in Indonesia have not read the Quran. They don't speak Arabic. How did they become Muslim? Their daddies were killed, and their mamas and their sisters were raped. When did Islam come to this world? It was 610 years later, after Christ died and rose again. And Muhammad came with a very simple message, which Muslims in America do not see anything wrong to say it to us again and again. Jesus is not deity. He did not die on the cross, and he never rose from the dead. And if you can ignore these facts, then we can get along with a Muslim, and we can all be happy and have this kumbaya song. Here is where Muhammad was born. This is a map which I believe deep in my heart. If America can understand
It's our privilege to have with us
the church, it is freedom, and we cry out to you in Europe today, and it's about to come to our country here within the next. Muslim live there. I've been there twice. Muslims in Indonesia have not read the Quran. They don't speak Arabic. How did they become Muslim? Their daddies were killed, and their mamas and their sisters were raped. When did Islam come to this world? It was 610 years later, after Christ died and rose again. And Muhammad came with a very simple message, which Muslims in America do not see anything wrong to say it to us again and again. Jesus is not deity. He did not die on the cross, and he never rose from the dead. And if you can ignore these facts, then we can get along with a Muslim, and we can all be happy and have this kumbaya song. Here is where Muhammad was born. This is a map which I believe deep in my heart. If America can understand this map, America will save America. You see, history repeats itself. And what happened 1400 years ago on these two spots, Mecca and Medina, is happening in Europe today, and it's about to come to our country here within the next 30, 50 years. There are two Islam. Islam when Muslims are weak, and Islam when Muslims are strong. Islam when Muslims are minority, and Islam when Muslims are majority. And majority in Islam is not 51%. It is 4 or 5%. So they're about to be majority in America. Muhammad claimed to be a prophet in Mecca at the age of 40. 13 years later, he have, Muslims said, 72 followers. I believe that's a lie. Maybe 40, if not less. It did not work. See, he was trying to build a relationship with the Jews, with the Christians, with the idol worshiper, and he wrote so many things in the Quran, which we call it Mecca verses. It's not loving, it's not peaceful, it's just soft verses. And it did not work. Then Muhammad emigrated, we're going to talk about immigration tonight, from Mecca to Medina, 210 miles north. And there he became a militant man. He united Arab not to kill each other, but to kill the others. And that was the beginning of Islam. Do you know the timing of Islam is not the birth of Muhammad, as we Christian begin our Christianity, it was the birth of Jesus, 2016 years ago, 14 years ago. It's not even the time when Muhammad received his revelation as he claimed at the age of 40. Islam began at the time of immigration. That's when Muhammad left Mecca to Medina. 9 years later, Muhammad came to Mecca, killed all the Jews, all the Christians, and from that day until today, there's not one Jew or one Christian or non-Muslim can walk in the street of Mecca. I dare an American ambassador or American someone to go to Saudi Arabia and walk in the street of Mecca, unless he or she says the Shahada. There's a sign there. Do not enter if you are not a Muslim. Arabic and English. But Islam is love and Islam is peace. It's all started in a cave. Muhammad claimed that he saw an angel or a spirit